Oh, shit.
So this must have been the first one that aired after he passed.
A defection.
If it is, the damage to Federation security would be immeasurable.
Who's Romulans?
No. No.
What? Wait a minute. Why would they... First of all, credit they revealed it in the hook. But secondly, I've said before, there's no reason Spock would be dead.
Stardate 452. As I study the intelligence reports on Ambassador Spock's disappearance,
There you go. Okay, it's him.
Holy shit.
We should tell Sadek's wife of our plans. She's transporting over at 0700. And Sadek? He says he's too ill to make the trip with her.
Damn. He is pretty
It's
old.
my honor to tell him that his son may have betrayed the Federation.
All right, well, we got one. You gotta love the timing of the he's not coming, he's too ill. His name pops up.
Come on, guys.
Almost like a purposeful troll.
You guys did so well with Denise Crosby last season. Color looks right for Vulcan.
Oh wow, okay, they brought back the same actress, Jill Biden.
You'd never recognize it.
Perrin, do you know why I've come to Vulcan? I must talk to you about Spock.
This is insane.
Is it possible he could have been abducted?
No. He wrapped up all of his affairs carefully. He knew he was going.
Classic Spock.
Would it be inappropriate to ask what happened between you and Spock?
Not between us. Between Spock and his father.
Oh.
He attacked Sarek's position publicly. He showed no loyalty for his father.
Is that a new painting Picard has of the Enterprise?
I think so.
If it were anyone else, I would never admit it. But you were a part of him. And he of you.
It's always tough when you're bringing back older legacy characters, but it's like, they had such a nice moment at the end of 4, him and his dad there, that it's like...
Yeah, do we want to tarnish that?
Yeah, but...
Especially with Spock apparently on this Romulan thing and opposing the Cardassian War. Like, how? How are they... what was the issue that they were opposing,
Yeah. Hey! Oh, he looks ill. I never thought he'd be back in the show, to be honest.
They gave him a blanket. He's on a flat bed. Yeah, I thought that was it for him. I was hoping that he'd be in 6, maybe. Could be. 6 probably takes place in the past, I would hope.
Yeah, in their current time, because, Kirk would be dead.
Picard is here.
No more chaos!
Come on.
Let the man rest. He's been through lifetimes.
What, over 200 years, right? Jesus.
Yeah.
How do you know Bartek?
I've heard of him.
That's what he's done.
Does Bartek ring any bells to you?
No. But haven't they been we've had no contact with Romulans, and that big reveal at the end of season 1, 2 was a big deal, but all of a sudden Spock's been in contact with one, and...
I don't think he means before TOS. I think he means
no.
between the time of...
But no one knew about it?
I don't think Spock was in Starfleet anymore. I guess it depends on when the Kittimer conference was. Was it 100 years ago or 20 years ago?
Yeah.
These damn guys live forever instead of Romulans.
I'm going to assume it was before the "we're back."
Yeah.
Tell him, Picard.
Oh,
No.
Come
on, Picard.
Peace
Tell yourself.
and long life.
Live long and
Close enough. There you go.
live long and strong and sad.
And prosper.
It would be nice for Spock and Sarek, I guess, to have one last scene, and maybe Spock to be there for his passing, but knowing how these things go, I feel like Sarek's just going to die off screen, and Spock will be like, your father's passed. That's unfortunate. But yeah, I'm guessing it went Kittimer Conference, Romulans disappeared, Romulans came back.
Rewriting history. Yes, he is claiming that it was his courage, his genius, that brought an end to the Civil War.
Damn it, Gowron.
If Worf's right, then our arrival will be an uncomfortable reminder of the facts.
But he can take all the credit he wants. I don't care. Get me somebody who will. Somebody on the High Council. Katao, perhaps.
Yes, sir.
Captain. They got rid of the double pips. Now he just has them on the undershirt.
Call up the intelligence scan of Spock on Romulus. Computer, enhance far left figure and compare.
Okay, well, that's clearly him.
I believe you will be able to locate him there on the third day of the Romulan week when the Senate is not in session.
Am I crazy for thinking, like, how do we know all this Romulan stuff all of a sudden? I thought they were, like, super secretive and, like, separated.
I don't even try to pretend like
I'm sure
I
the comments are rolling in right now, but I don't know. It just feels like, oh, we know all this stuff, and they have senator representatives. Like, huh? It's like, shit. In season 1, we didn't even know of TOS. We didn't even know what they looked like.
Changing it to a pure Romulan shouldn't be too difficult. We just have to make sure we can change.
They just playing dress up. And Riker, are we playing dress up?
I'll dress as a Romulan.
These two still have an appointment with Mr. Mott to have their hairpieces designed.
30 minutes, number one.
Mr. Mott mentioned.
It's the barber, right?
I want to know why we are going on this mission.
I'm sorry. It's a classified matter.
Do you think information like that stays a secret? Ambassador Spock has gone to Romulus.
How do you know this?
Doesn't say secret, I guess.
Eku, Gohash, Bishop!
This Klingon looks too human.
We have set a course for Romulus.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the other guy before that on the transmission didn't act very Klingon either. He was too even-keeled. I mean, I know Klingons have calmed down and as of late, but I don't know. They were great in Redemption too. They were going nuts.
Gowron, you know, he looks like a Klingon. You know.
Yeah.
Everyone in Redemption all looked like Klingons. It feels like they just didn't really try with the makeup on these guys for whatever reason.
We do not soften our bodies by putting down pad.
Good. I preferred it that way.
Oh.
We do not serve Federation food.
I've been looking forward to Gog. Haven't had it for quite a while. Very fresh.
It's like, bro, you're not gonna get one on Picard, dude. Just get out.
Like, why are you trying to intimidate him? Like, you know who you're talking to? This guy saved your planet. Nice. A little. Okay. Just letting the facade slip a little bit.
Yeah, where it's like acknowledging like this is gonna be shitty.
Yeah, but he's not going to show it.
I wonder what Worf sleeps on in the Enterprise.
Trying to
Human
remember
bed?
his room. Can't.
A human bed or a slab?
On screen.
I don't sleep.
I'm Commander William Riker.
Ah!
An appointment? No.
Then I will be unable to help you. You may communicate with scheduling.
Nothing changes in the future, huh? That's great.
Mr. Worf?
Fire.
I wish I had the people to spare. I don't.
Well, sir, what would you suggest?
I don't know.
I feel like I'm at the DMV.
He's king of his particular hill, Commander. You'll have to treat him that way.
Counselor, this feels like a perfect job for you.
Riker can't even handle one diplomatic conversation.
I'm glad he didn't threaten to blow him up or anything. I think he handled it better than he's handled other things. I like that outfit.
You see all the wreckage?
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the ships? That's pretty cool.
We don't get to see a lot of handsome women out this way. And someone like you might get a little more cooperation from me. Helmsman, lay in a heading 141 by 208, ahead slow 200 kph.
Bro is giving orders.
He's the guy. You think he's going to try to steal the Enterprise?
I can see it.
Like the Collector? I've never had a ship like this. All I have is shit.
These are the correct coordinates.
The T'Pol is missing?
The T'Pol is missing.
When it was brought here, was it stripped of material, armament, sensors?
Material, Jordy? Oh, look at that! Look at that! That ship down in the bottom left! That looks familiar.
Yeah.
You think any of those ships are from season 3 finale?
Probably.
Since I do not require sleep, I propose you take the shelf, sir. I am content to stand.
How do you know what time it is on a Klingon ship? It's just always that red hum light.
Good point. I guess they don't simulate nighttime like they do on the Enterprise.
Only weaklings simulate time.
What are you looking at?
I'm not looking at anything, sir. I'm continuing to organize my files. I am sorry if I was disturbing you, sir. I will not look in your direction.
Oh my god. What is this? Why is it so funny? Why are you...
Do you not wish to sleep, sir?
I don't think so, Mr. Dale.
Captain Cavada to Picard. Please come to the bridge.
This Picard's a nightmare.
So he wouldn't have been able to sleep anyway because he just got called away.
It's perfect timing.
Sarek is dead.
What did I say?
What the?
What did I say, dude? Off-screen death. I knew it.
Good fucking call, you asshole.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
Wow.
Sensors indicate a combat vessel. Origin undetermined. Heavily armed.
I have a feeling this is going to end with Spock showing up.
There's an energy buildup in their phaser banks. Sir, they're activating weapons.
I hope Spock gets to interact with Worf.
Oh, God, yeah. Worf, you son of a bitch.
They already know each other.
We just want to get their attention.
Ready, sir.
Fire.
Oh, I love that. Haven't seen that in a while.
If there's one thing Riker's going to do, it's fire.
You know, we talked about that the end of last season, like how are we going to continue, or at the end of season 3, actually, how are we going to continue forward with Riker still not being a captain? Have Picard go on an adventure.
Yep.
It's gonna blow.
Oh, okay. Blows up right after Geordi explains it. Let's give it up for Captain Riker. Blew up the ship, got no information. That's good.
Classic.
Classic Riker.
Shit. Wow.
I would not have thought it possible, sir.
Oh, this is so weird seeing his actual eyes.
It does remain to be seen if the Romulans will accept us.
Got to do a side by side of Kirk as a Romulan and.
Oh yeah.
You know what the Romulans will do to you if they discover who you are.
This is my least favorite Klingon of
Yeah,
all time.
yeah. Let's go. You got your lines. Limited runtime here. Let's go. I need this for my acting reel.
He didn't write the script.
Circulate his likeness among the security forces. Remind them that if he is here, he's probably disguised as one of us.
So they're just like already onto it. Like before he even arrives, like, yeah, he's coming here and he's gonna be dressed like us, so.
Adjusting for the optical distortions, I am able to verify the architectural features.
Where were they standing?
This is the first time seeing the streets of Romulus, right?
Yeah, we've never been here.
Very well. Let's sample the local cuisine, shall we?
Very interesting. That was all one take, all one shot.
Oh yeah.
Why do you want to know?
I need his services. He was recommended.
I haven't seen you here before.
Oh my God.
We come from several kilometers outside the city.
Or perhaps you come from the security forces to watch the intercessor's office. Is he in trouble?
These guys are just failing miserably.
I don't know when he opens. Eat your soup, courtesy of a loyal establishment.
Jolan True.
I appreciate her makeup looked pretty good for such a small role.
Yeah, that's how you do it. Unlike that Klingon.
Oh, it's gonna be terrible, isn't it? Well, I mean, Data doesn't know.
I don't think we can stay here too long.
Yeah, dude, they did not think this through.
Very good, Sam.
Having some problems.
That's a freebie.
Wait here. What for? What have you brought us here for?
Welcome to Romulus, Captain Picard.
Guy's got a great voice.
We had to get you off the street as quickly as we could.
It's also stopped.
Romulan security knows that you're here.
Ah, okay.
I'm looking for Ambassador Spock.
Indeed.
You have found him. Captain Picard.
Woo!
And.
Yeah. Damn it. So here's the thing. This is very, very clearly a part 1 episode, and we're watching the next episode today. Do you want to just jump into it?
Yeah, I don't want to discuss a part 1 episode.
Especially when we're watching the part 2 right afterwards.
Yes, and you know how much I hate part 1 episodes. It's like talk about half a movie. It's like, no.
Yeah. But at least this one is the first one that's not a season finale, so it's interesting to have it here in the, in the season back to back. I think they obviously were doing it because of the movie, would be my guess.
Yeah. But here's the thing. What do we say to have the similar cutoff? Like, it's me, Captain. It's, I am Spock. What do we say to close out the video? Or
I was going to doing the same video.
Oh, same
just
video?
Keep it going.
Oh, just do a fake like commercial fade out.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? What can we say?
Hope you guys are enjoying our reaction to Unification 1 and 2 and this double reaction episode. I wanted to let you know that over on Patreon, we're doing an exclusive series chosen by our bridge crew, our highest tier of patrons, and that is the first season of The Expanse. We already have uncut reactions to the first half of the season posted over there, and the second half is going to be coming in the next couple of weeks, but we're doing something for the first time ever, and that is also exclusively on Patreon, doing edited reactions as well to this series. So that means videos just like this one you're watching right here, not required to sync up the episode on your own, but an edited version that includes the clips of the episode that you can watch, just like YouTube edited reactions, except this one is going to be exclusive for our Patreon members. Now that is never something we're going to do with Star Trek, that'll always be here on YouTube, but over on Patreon we are letting those people who support us also get some edited reactions as well. Those edited reactions are going to start going up with the first 5 episodes being posted to Patreon this weekend, and the first episode will also get posted this weekend to YouTube for free. But if you want to watch the full season along with us, whether it's uncut reactions or those edited reactions, join us over on the Patreon. It will then be up to those Bridge Crew members, once we finish this first season, whether to continue with The Expanse or jump to another show of their choosing. So if you want to be one of those that decides what that series is, join the Bridge Crew tier over on our Patreon, which is open now for a limited time with limited spots available. When you join the Bridge Crew, you also get a special thank you video from Alex and myself, and access to a special Discord server where Alex and I interact daily with the members of the Bridge Crew. But whether it's the Bridge Crew or any other tier of our Patreon, we have plenty of exclusive content over there. Not just this exclusive series, but we have a whole bunch of movie reactions that don't make it to YouTube, the edited reactions of Star Trek get to Patreon earlier, and regular interaction with myself and Alex through live streams and community chats. It truly is the best Star Trek community on the internet. And once we hit our goal of members over there, we'll be upping our Star Trek journey to 3 episodes a week, uncut on Patreon and edited here on YouTube.
3 weeks ago, one of our most celebrated ambassadors and advisor to Federation leaders for generations disappeared.
Added to the list of admirals, not an idiot. She only had one scene, so.
Do you know what the Romulans will do to you if they discover who you are?
Like a Beyond Belief recap. we get you're showing the whole episode.
Shields up, red alert.
Gotta love the classic shot there of popping up in the camera for the captain.
Love it.
You have found him, Captain Picard.
He hasn't aged a day since Star Trek V. If anything, he looks younger.
With great respect for all that you've achieved on behalf of the Federation, this sort of cowboy diplomacy will not easily be tolerated anymore.
You know who you're talking to, man?
Cowboy diplomacy.
I also have the responsibility of being the bearer of unhappy news.
Sarek is dead. Work with me, Picard.
This is insane. I mean, do I want him to actually look like Picard and not a fucking Romulan?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, he meets him and he's dressed as a Romulan, and it's also like, Spock, talk to Data.
Yeah.
Just like classic, like, I just want fan service. Talk to Data.
I was with him before coming here. He expressed his pride in you, his love.
Emotional disarray was a symptom of the illness from which he suffered.
Come on, Spock.
Ambassador, your logic escapes me. If I didn't know better, I would say that your judgment is influenced by your emotions.
Oh, missed that look. I missed that look.
I was involved with cowboy diplomacy, as you describe it, long before you were born.
Oh!
In your own way, you are as stubborn as another captain of the Enterprise I once knew.
Fan service, but I don't care. I love it.
Spock's like, respect your elders, bro.
We have more important things to attend to than acting as your nursemaids.
Damn it.
I require access to your ship's computer.
Access to our computer? For what purpose?
I am going to attempt to penetrate the Romulan Central Information Net.
Just let him do it.
And Captain Picard has authorized me to share with you any information we obtain.
There you go.
What happened? What happened? Directed by Cliff Bowling.
Yeah, interesting that they would switch up for like a part 1, part 2. I don't remember in the past if it stayed the same or not.
Stardate 45245.8.
We just blew up another ship.
The Enterprise remains in Quaylor 2 as we continue to investigate the theft of a surplus Vulcan.
The fuck is this?
What is that, Mos Eisley? Can you imagine Riker and Han Solo meeting? Battle of who has the bigger
ego?
Sure.
Look at me, mister. What do you think? 7 different shades of them. How about some Andorian beauties?
Yeah, Get it?
Because they're blue. Andorians gotta be the #1 species they love bringing up and not having on the show.
Oh, just what I need. Another set of hands.
Know this one? 20th century Earth.
That's convenient.
Enter.
Proconsul?
Yes.
What's this guy's deal? I feel like he's just gonna be like, I know you met Picard.
Oh, the stone jaw Romulan?
Yeah. You think I got to this point because of my job?
You're right.
It helped.
Will we see you and your wife tomorrow at the steak dinner?
We're looking forward to it.
This guy carved all the Romulan architecture with his jaw.
Are you prepared to support reunification?
I believe it must eventually come.
I don't buy him.
Times are changing, and leaders who refuse to change with them will no longer be leaders.
Too trusting of this guy, Spock.
I am prepared to publicly endorse the opening of talks between our peoples.
Wow, okay.
I don't believe him.
I mean, he'll be criticized for it, but I think he's ready to take it on the chin.
Live long and prosper.
Oh, there she is. Now, how great would that reveal would have been if they didn't put her in the credits? Whatever. Oh, he's back.
The Romulan Information Net employs a progressive encryption lock. I've been unable to penetrate their security measures.
May I assist you, Commander?
Yes, sir. The 29th is the only one I cannot bypass.
I'll take this opportunity to remove my ears.
Intrigues me. Remarkably analytical and dispassionate. For a human, I understand why my father chose to mind meld with him. There's an almost Vulcan quality to the man.
Interesting.
I can see that.
You have an efficient intellect, superior physical skills, no emotional impediments. There are Vulcans who aspire all their lives to achieve what you've been given.
We've said this before.
You are half human.
Yes.
Yet you have chosen a Vulcan way of life.
I have.
In effect, you have abandoned what I have sought all my life.
I believe I have isolated the 29th Cipher X.
He's like, that's enough of that.
That's enough nice character moments.
Do you find you have missed your humanity?
I have no regrets.
That is a human expression.
Yes. Fascinating.
Bro is 2 for 2 with TOS cast members.
Oh, yeah, true. Whew. He should have said.
Do you know any Klingon opera?
I may be a little rusty.
Sounds like a banger.
I want to see what a Klingon opera looks like. It probably looks like a heavy metal concert, everyone moshing and fighting.
You ever heard of Gwar?
Yeah.
It's a Gwar concert.
What is that dreadful noise?
Oh my God!
It's the fat Ferengi. And he's got 2 women with him.
2 different species, too.
A fat Ferengi has just entered the establishment.
Is that Malor Famagal I hear?
It is.
I'm on my way. Commander William Riker, USS Enterprise.
Oh, am I supposed to stand up and salute?
Just the women.
Hypothetically speaking.
I never learned to speak hypothetical.
This guy's up there with Damon Goss already as my favorite friend. Oh!
Let me explain what will happen to you if you don't tell me about the Vulcan ship. Your right of passage through this sector will be revoked, and more than that, I will be very unhappy.
It's a long history of kicking their asses.
That guy was great.
He was. Captain Riker, man, he's just, whew, be careful.
I was able to trace the source of the transmission. It incorporates the code prefix.
Cliff, let's pan the camera up a little bit.
A little zoom.
Yeah.
It is a short sequence of numbers. 1400.
Nothing more.
No, sir.
I like this ship, though. The interior.
Spock.
Oh, Spock, be careful.
I've been looking for
I
you.
don't trust this kid either.
Yeah, I don't think they would kill him right before the movie comes out, but you never know.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is like a part 2 of 3. Also, does reunification include reunifying with the other Vulcan Romulan?
Hawkins?
Yeah, probably not.
I don't know if they even know about them.
What does it mean?
It means that the proconsul has apparently been attempting to deceive me. For what purpose, I cannot say yet.
No.
A greater plan which involves the stolen Vulcan ship.
Why would they need a Vulcan ship?
That will become clear very shortly.
Damn it.
Captain Picard, welcome to Romulus.
So much going on.
I trust you've enjoyed your visit, and this is the android I've come to respect in battle.
He hasn't seen her yet.
Someone has betrayed us.
Yes, you did.
We've been friends for 80 years.
It is the only logical conclusion. You asked me to come to Romulus. You arranged the meetings with the proconsul.
Senator Pardek, your service to the Romulan people is noted and appreciated.
Jolan True, Spock.
Oh. I thought there was going to be like another rat, but no, he just... Oh.
Your dream of reunification is not dead. It will simply take a different form. The Romulan conquest of Vulcan. Bring them.
I do love, though, true to Spock in terms of that guy turning on him. Spock, like, no emotion about it. Just yeah, it's the only logical answer. It was obviously you.
No, it wasn't me. Yeah, it was me.
Yeah, it was.
Sir, a coded subspace signal from Romulus. It's the captain.
Oh, Riker's going to blow up the whole planet, isn't he?
Mr. Worf.
As if it could...
Just right at the planet.
I rather enjoy writing. I don't get to do it very often in this job.
Perhaps you would be happier in another job.
Oh, come back home.
I will not read this or any other statement.
If you do not, you will die. All of you will die.
Okay.
Since it is logical to conclude that you will kill us in any event, I choose not to cooperate.
I hate Vulcans.
What are those, milkshakes? What the hell are those?
Cupcakes?
By taking advantage of holographic sampling during the last few days, we have created a programmable SPOCK. Run program.
Oh, nice effect. God, he has no arms.
It's not perfect. Pretty accurate to AI readings of today.
Are they still unaware that we have access to their computers?
I believe so, Ambassador.
Then perhaps you and I can find a way to create a diversion.
Create a diversion? You are the diversion. Throw those money.
They had guns, though.
So?
Vulcan ships.
Vulcan?
All right, Riker. Let's see what you got.
They request we monitor Federation subspace channels. Ambassador Spock will be making an announcement shortly.
Perhaps his reunification talks were successful.
Troy, that would be a really good time to use you.
Set a course to intercept.
Sir, the captain's orders were to maintain the...
I know the captain's orders, Lieutenant. Engage.
Now you're listening to my orders. Fire!
Oh, a little sunset painting, too. Look at that.
Impossible. There's no way they could have gotten out of this room.
That's far enough. Stay right where you are.
Hey, what happened to his hair?
Yeah, what?
Or this is the diversion.
Yeah.
Drop your weapon.
There you go. They couldn't get his hair correct, I guess, in the, in the hologram.
It's all right. Oh! Hey, Joe! Yeah, Picard punch!
I'm afraid I don't know too much about Romulan disruptor settings.
Never would I thought this would ever. This is insane.
I don't think you got Commander Riker's hair quite right.
Thank you! Thank you!
We'll be more observant in the future, sir.
Federation sensors are tracking 3 Vulcan ships. These ships carry a Romulan invasion force and must be stopped.
Mr. Worf, how long before we intercept the Vulcan ships?
14 minutes, sir.
They were really going to invade all of Vulcan with only 3 ships?
I've disconnected certain security scanners to assist us. I'm afraid we cannot allow you to warn your guards.
Oh! The neck pinch!
Not bad.
This is... What the fuck?
Oh, man, I really hope he uses that again. Like after this episode.
Yeah,
in the future at some point.
The Warbird is powering up his forward disruptor array.
Ready phasers.
Okay.
Your
2,000 Romulan troops on board those ships.
They destroyed their own invasion force.
That washes.
Rather than let them be taken prisoner.
That washes. Damn. Damn.
Classic Romulan just... All right, you're done.
Yeah, you guys failed.
Just all these Romulans. The Vulcan ships. Wait, what the? Life over.
Continue to teach, pass on the ideals to a new generation.
The Federation will welcome that day.
Captain, we will need to recharge.
What happened to the Stone Jaw guy?
He's just a ruse, just a figurehead.
Once Sela came out, he's like, oh, my job's done.
Exactly.
Captain, I will not be coming with you.
I want to see him on the bridge.
You may know Sarek better than his own son does.
I offer you the chance to touch what he shared with me.
Oh! Come on! Oh!
Oh my God! I can't keep doing this, man. I can't keep doing this. I gave it a, let's see, an S for Spock and a smiley face.
Well, you know, Alex, I'll be honest. We're doing this as the whole two-parter. And,
yeah, whole thing,
and,
as its own, yeah.
You know, there was a lot of it that I didn't think was, you know, honestly really pulling me in. So I'll be honest. It was really a lot of the time, I would say a C for me. Just kind of that average episode. And they did something a little bit special because when you take a C and you add a good amount of fan service, you get an A.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. All right. Well, we just did another two-parter. I was not expecting another two-parter, and I said S for Spock, but I kind of want to change it. I want to change it to S for sucker for fan service as well. I am a huge sucker for fan service. When Luke Skywalker came back in The Mandalorian Season 2, I was all over it. I don't care how dumb or fan service it was. It meant something to me. And seeing Spock as Spock again. Probably the most Spock he's ever been, ever. Since,
That's a good point, yeah.
I mean, he wasn't really like the Spock we knew in the motion picture. We saw him in Wrath of Khan. Wasn't in Search for Spock. Was coming back in The Voyage Home. And he was weaving back into it, I think, in what was 5 called?
The Final Frontier.
The Final Frontier, yeah. But seeing him here again, just like, this was Spock, full-on Spock, full gimmick, and I loved every minute of it.
Yeah, I got to give credit to Leonard Nimoy for doing a TV show again. And I know in 2024 that sounds silly, but, you know, he was in a TV show in the 60s, and then after 10 years was in, you know, Star Trek movies for going on, 2 or 3 decades at this point.
Directed a movie too.
And directed a movie, and I don't know what state his career was at, but to do a TV show, you know, I feel like, especially back then, that was kind of a taboo. Like, movie stars and TV stars were kind of separate. So to return to your roots and not only do, you know, a Bones one scene cameo, but to be a full-on character in these 2 episodes, definitely obviously part 2 more than part 1, but in both of them, I got to give him credit for that. I want to address basically what I meant with migrating, because I agree with you as far as fan service goes. Like, you know, you can make fun of Avengers Endgame and you can make fun of, you know, remakes and all those things, but at the end of the day, fan service is just like anything, literally anything else in media. It can be done well and it can be done poorly. Just because it's fan service doesn't mean it's good, but it also doesn't just mean it's bad. I thought here it was extremely well done, especially in part 2. And basically the last half of part 2 just like brought up this whole episode for me. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I disliked the 2 episodes. At no point did I dislike either of them. But for dealing with such big moments and big things, it did feel a little bit underwhelming, and I was giving it the benefit of the doubt that, well, it's a lot of setup. And I think for the most part, I was correct in that all of that setup did lead to a really good payoff. It just becomes a matter of, like, how much are you able to forgive how much of it was getting you there. I mean, this is the first time we're ever doing a review of a full two-parter. We didn't even discuss the part one because we're like, what's the point? And not only because we were going to watch part two right afterwards, but because had we had a discussion on part one, I would have had almost nothing to say. Like, nothing really happened.
Part one would have been like a low C, really bad. But this is an S for me. It's I agree with all that, and it's on the lower S. I mean, I didn't love every part of it, of course, of these 2 episodes, but I got to say, Spock definitely elevated it, and it wasn't just like, oh, Spock's back, there he is. We've been building up this whole Romulan subplot with Sela this entire time, and then to like tie Spock into it and have it all culminate together, I thought was so nicely well done. It's slowly seeing Spock be Spock again, working with Data, hearing Spock call Picard Captain, just hearing Spock say Captain again, like tickled something in my brain. I'm like, oh shit, he's talking to Picard. He's not talking to Kirk. It broke my brain for a bit. It was like Captain, and then it cuts to Picard. I'm like, oh yeah, shit. It completely broke my brain. I guess one complaint I had, I wish this would be a season finale type thing, but the movie is like right after this.
Yeah, and on TV, so we have 1 episode left before the movie. Whatever that episode is, they did take a break. Like this next episode we're gonna watch, episode 9, was in December, or maybe end of November, something like that. And then the movie came out in December, and the show didn't come back on until January. So it wasn't a season finale, but it was kind of like a, hey, the movie's coming out, we're leading up to this, and then we're taking a break. So I'll give it the I don't want to even say benefit of the doubt. That wouldn't be it. I'll give it credit for doing that, and not it just being like, there's Star Trek 6 coming out, but hey, it's just another episode of TNG, kind of like Star Trek 5. There was no mention, no anything. It was just TNG was just going.
Why don't we work together here? You know
yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
Let's cross promote. I mean, we're the same franchise here.
Exactly.
And just.
And even like a mention, even a little what I would assume is a tease.
The Klingon thing?
Yeah, talking about Kirk and Klingon, whatever he said. It wasn't enough to where, like, I don't know what he's talking about, but something having to do with Klingons and the peace deal. I don't know what that means for Star Trek 6, but it was enough to get me excited. And if I was a viewer then, watching this episode that came out, I'd have been like, man, I got to make sure to get my tickets to Star Trek 6. Like, if that's what they were going for, a commercial for Star Trek 6, it worked.
Yeah, throughout the entirety of TNG, it's like, oh, we now have this peace relationship with the Klingons, and then Spock drops this lore that Kirk had a direct involvement in. It's like, wait, like he did? It's like,
and that he sent them on this mission.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm already excited.
I have no idea what happens in Undiscovered Country, but I hope something ties in to there. While it's fresh in the brain, Sarek's death. In most cases, I'd probably be pissed off, but after what happened, after he had his own episode, was it season 4? Sarek? 3. It was that long ago? Yeah. God damn. Like, I'm okay with it, and especially the button on the end with.
Oh yeah.
It's like they were able to connect to each other without connecting to each other. It's like, how great is that? It's like they had that father-son moment through Picard.
Picard is just. I mean, they said it. He's like, he even says to him, Spock's like, he's kind of has a Vulcan quality to him, and that's what Sarek saw in him as well, and why he was able to bond with him, and Picard being this link between Sarek and Spock. I mean, talk about something you never expect,
Amazing, and that and the whole just both Data and Spock talking to each other about what they are and what they wanted to be, but couldn't be. It's like, oh, I want to be human by my entire existence, Data thought, and then Spock being half human, and it's like, oh, most Vulcans would, die to be what you quintessentially have, just who you are. It's like their whole dynamic together and the whole like ruse with getting Sela. It was Star Trek porn to me. It's like I was.
Yeah, it was like Star Trek Avengers, basically.
Yeah,
what it felt like
on an episode of TV.
And my 2 favorite parts though of the whole thing, one was the one you just mentioned, Spock and Data's conversation. Wanted to see that since TNG started. Data is his own character, but he is very much a parallel of Spock, but kind of the opposite.
Yes,
he wants the emotions. He wants to be human. To see that play out and to them kind of riff on that was great. And then my other one was the second scene in the bar type place where Worf is singing the Klingon opera, and then we get the fat Ferengi. that was just amazing, and like a completely different type of way where that's not fan service, but that's more of just like humor. It's like actually funny, like it's actually Worf being hilarious, and this fat Ferengi is my favorite Ferengi character probably.
Oh, talking about just eating up the scene and owning the scene too. Just everything about that scene was absolutely fantastic. That guy just completely hammed it up, and it wasn't too much, it wasn't too little. The two women he were with, I was laughing at the most because whenever he would start laughing, they'd go, just probably like, it was all great. And we talked about like, okay, after Best of Both Worlds, what does Riker do? And honestly, I don't want like a spin-off show, but I want Riker to be in the captain's chair. I want him to be like an adventurer. Like I want him to be like the go like a detective Riker. You know what I mean? We talk about Detective Picard, with The Big Goodbye and that whole stuff, but like I like the idea of Riker being like going out there and finding stuff out on his own in his own way. I mean, we see his captain style, very shoot 'em-esque. I mean, I can't imagine Picard grabbing that Ferengi and like that. So it's kind of scary. I mean, I don't know if this is like teasing for a path of Riker going down something like bad, or that he's not ready, or that's just his style. I can't picture Kirk doing that either.
I feel like it's just his style. I feel like he's just that's just how he is, and like there's nothing wrong with that. He's just basically like Kirk, but with even more bluster and even more aggressiveness. And as long as it gets the job done, it doesn't necessarily mean it's better or worse than Picard or any other style. He got the job done with that Ferengi. He just grabbed him. He got the info he needed by threatening him.
It's just scary. That's just it. It's just scary. I'm used to charming Jonathan Frakes from Beyond Belief. You know what I mean? And then seeing this, I mean, early TNG. I mean, Riker was like the action guy, right? But to see him be like the aggressive action guy recently, it's like, oh.
Yeah, because he's charming in a lot of this series too, early on and even in recent episodes. So yeah, it's definitely different. It's interesting. Got to also bring up the scene in Sela's room, or office, or whatever, where Data uses the Vulcan neck pinch. Another brilliant moment. It hit me emotionally, harkening back to early TOS, the very first appearance. I don't know if it's the first appearance of it, but when he hits Sulu with it, and Kirk's like, "You got to show me that sometime." And I don't think he ever showed Kirk.
I don't think so, no.
But Data doing it here, and not bad. Like that's just talk about full circle moment.
Yeah, it felt like remember when in Avengers Endgame, like the camera's panning and everyone's doing their moves. It felt like Spock hits his Vulc pinch and then Picard throws his classic Picard punch. It felt very like what are we watching here? This is like a fan service finale. It was great. Sela and Data, did they see each other in Sela's episode?
I don't remember, but I don't think the show cares. Like, I don't think the show is going to make it a big deal every time she sees each separate character, unfortunately. We're not going to get a Worf reaction to her and a Data reaction to her. It is what it is.
I guess Data's saying, oh, there's another job, for you. That's enough for me, but I don't know. After the not downer, but the Data ending episodes where he like lingers on that, when he lingers on something, it's like, I wish that, that sort of moment where it's like, is Data feeling something? Is something there? There's got to be something there, especially, seeing her.
I mean, who knows what'll happen in the future with Sela? There could be very well.
Yeah, she's still out there, and fucking Romulans, man. How about just those 3 Vulcan ships? Imagine like, look, a warbird. What?
Yeah, real quick, last thing on Data. With him and Sela, I do look forward to their future interactions, and if Sela ever does try to get, have attitude or anything towards Zeta, he can just be like, Sela, I fucked your mom.
I could have been your father.
No, but for real, the Romulans, I mean, it goes back to Sela in Redemption Part 2 when, they get caught by Data, and she's like, let's just get out of here. And they're like, oh, but what if they need our help? No, we're gone. It's like, that's Romulan. Same thing with blowing up their own people. Jirok and the Defector, it's like, they have no honor. They do not care. They're like, sorry, like, it is what it is.
Yeah, and at first I was very like, Spock, this is so obviously like a trap. And he was friends with this ambassador, the senator, for 80 years. And it was an 80-year ploy to be like, no, yeah, sorry, Spock. This whole thing has been a long ruse to invade Vulcan about this reunification.
I don't think it was an 80-year ploy in the sense that Spock had only been there for a little bit. He just knew him for 80 years.
Knew him for 80 yeah.
Because Sarek was
Saw him
like
at conferences.
Yeah, because Sarek was like he has kept in contact with him over the years.
That's
so
right,
I think
that's
he
right.
probably was genuinely like on good terms with them. But then when the Romulans come knocking and they say, "Hey, we know you're friends with Spock. Invite him here. We're doing this." Like, he's kind of forced into it.
Credit to the writing and credit to Leonard and whoever. It's like, oh, it's the most logical that you ratted me out. No, it wasn't me. Yeah, it was me. It's like, oh well, I mean, and I think it's very in character with Spock's character. I mean, he went out of his way to like make contact with V'ger. Remember in the motion picture, he's about to have that rite of passage or whatever happened. He's like, no, wait a second, I have to do something first.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not complete.
And then the whole Captain Pike thing, where he was like, he wanted to help Pike out, and he went against Starfleet orders to get Pike all the way to Talos 4. I remember the planet name. You want to know why I know it? Because I just recently rewatched it. Yeah. So I think that's very in line with Spock's character, especially since he's not a big Starfleet guy anymore, just like an ambassador. So he's just wanting to do the right thing, and I love it. The mentions of Kirk and like making the comparisons of Picard to Kirk and all that. It's just like fan service maybe, but like boy, did it tickle my heart so warm to just to talk that not ambiguous talk where we kind of know. Where it's like, oh, I knew a Starfleet captain who had the same blah 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 as you. It's like it did it so well. It just tickles that fan service warmness that I haven't felt in a little bit.
Yeah, it's funny because to me, Picard and Kirk are like so polar opposite as captains.
Yeah.
That stubbornness is like one of their only shared traits.
Yes, yeah.
So for him to be like, you're just as stubborn as another captain, it's like, yeah, that's probably all Starfleet captains, because to become a captain, you have to be stubborn. You have to be at least strong in your convictions, So I did find that a little bit ironic. And Spock even says, you may have known more about my father than his own son, and just the realizations here between Spock and Picard is what I was surprised by. Like, yes, it was awesome seeing Spock interact directly with Picard, but what he learns through him, in this story is like the more important piece.
Yeah, and what a perfect way to end it. Would I have loved to see Spock on the bridge? Of course, but just mind melding with Picard, and then like that show of emotion where like my dad did care about me, and he did love all that. It's like, and then executive producer, or created by Gene Roddenberry. Yeah, it's like gripes with the episode, just the credits. That's it. Just so many cool moments could have had been,
Yeah, and that's why I don't say anything about it anymore. Like I was saying in our recap of the last season, because it's like at this point,
I'm gonna
it's
judge
the same thing every time.
I want to say we've convinced this show to be better somehow through our commentary. So I'm going to manifest it that they're going to get it. We stopped talking about it, or at least you did. So I'm going to manifest it and keep complaining about it because it worked with Denise Crosby. When,
Denise Crosby, I'll agree with you in the sense that that would have been cool. The Sarek one, I mean, his reveal is like he walks in, or no, the camera just cuts to him and he's ill.
Okay, Sarek's not too bad. Yeah,
especially after we did get the Spock reveal at the beginning in the hook, not ruined. But I'm going to talk about that in a second for a different reason. The Sela one, that would have been awesome if there's just door open and she's there. But yeah, like I said, I mean, you can have whatever expectations you want. I don't care. But but for me, I just feel like I've said what I needed to say about it, and like I don't want to disappoint myself by continuing to have this expectation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like it is what it is. It's kind of like with Wesley in the other episode, where like it showed his name in the credit, and then they said his name like 5 seconds after, and then in this one, Sarek's too ill, he's not showing up. Shows it on the screen. It's like they're trolling at this point.
They might be trolling. They might be. But I'm like fan casting like that intro where instead of they see Spock on the video screen, I'm thinking of something. Oh, there's reports of a Vulcan ambassador that's made contact with Romulans and Romulus, and Picard's like, oh, who, Sarek? And then boo. Maybe we don't see. They're looking at the screen, but we don't see it. Or maybe Picard's looking at a piece of data and just Spock. And it's like, wait, what? And it's like the entire time, are we going to see Spock? We're not going to see Spock. And the movie's about to come out. We're not going to see Spock, are we? Force Awakens ending.
Yeah, well, the ending of part 1 is the best part of part 1, where they go into the cave and like, we're looking for Spock. Well, you found him, or whatever he says, walking out from the shadows. Regardless of already seeing him and already knowing he's going to be in it, that was still a badass reveal and a great to be continued, moment. It doesn't hit as hard because it's not a surprise, but it was a great ending.
At least the subtitle didn't spoil it. Man.
Man, yeah. But that brings me to, I want to talk about the beginning and the end. Something about the direction here and just like how it was done was a little bit wonky in my opinion in this two-parter. And this, yes, I'm getting very far into the minutia of the show, and I'm not talking about the themes of the story or whatever. This is the type of stuff that we like to dig into, so be fair warned.
Yeah, Les Landau did the first one, right? And
Yeah,
Cliff
and
Bole
Cliff
did the second.
Bole. I do think Cliff Bole was better. Just he's like my favorite TNG director, so he was a little bit better in especially the second half of part 2 and everything. But the opening with the reveal of Spock and the hook, and then the ending of part 2, I feel kind of similar because at the opening, again, I was saying like in our reaction, I was like, I was just like sitting down to watch this show. I felt like someone in '91 who just got home from work and was turning on the TV. You know, we almost missed it because whenever we start watching it, I just make sure the setting is correct real quick, and I fumbled the remote and I hit a wrong button, and I'm like fixing it. Luckily, I got it off the screen like literally seconds before the reveal happened. But I was like, it was so like rushed. I mean, that whole hook had to be less than 90 seconds, and for such a big hook, it was kind of just like, oh, holy shit, like I wasn't ready for that. It's like an odd choice. And then the same thing at the end with the mind meld, I felt like right as it got into that moment, it just ended. And like I love the credit on the scene, but it's like you couldn't have found 10 more seconds of screen time throughout this episode to just let that linger a bit more, because I felt like I didn't cry, I didn't even tear up, because as I was getting emotionally invested, it ended. It just, again, this is like a very small, like kind of like me personally, how it hit me. It's like, I feel like with just it was just like one of those things that was just off by a second. And sometimes it happens and sometimes it's perfect. It is what it is. But in my opinion, the direction was not perfect. Those were the two big moments of it, and also just the writing choices in the opening of part 1. But then throughout the entire two-parter, it just felt flat. It felt pretty boring in terms of like when two people were having a conversation, we didn't have a ton of unique shots. It was just kind of like they're walking and they're having a conversation. Like I really just had to like keep myself invested, without the help of like Cliff Bole and Les Landau are usually like helping us out with like cool shots and different. And it was just kind of like, nope, flat TV shot. And it felt like a lot of TV you see today where it's just like shot, reverse shot. And there's nothing wrong with that necessarily, but it came off a little bit, like I said in my reaction in the grading, like it came off like a little bit C tier, like a little bit just like, yep, this is an episode. It was just that fan service and all of the stuff we were getting that kind of bumped it up for me.
I will agree with you there. Besides that one shot of Worf behind the awning, and then Picard, Riker just popping up out of nowhere. That was like the one.
Which for this show is a pretty standard shot.
Pretty standard.
We're not reinventing the wheel there.
Pretty standard, yeah. I guess they were just coasting on, hey, we got Leonard Nimoy here. You know what I mean? We don't have to play Scorsese today. Let's just.
Yeah, and that's fine. I'm not asking for, I'm trying to think like I'm not asking for, remember me, Cliff Bole to show up, with all these crazy shots or anything.
Yeah.
Or even Corey Allen, a couple episodes with Wesley. Like, it doesn't need to be that out there, but it just felt, for a very, very dialogue-heavy two-parter, like it was just very flat from a direction standpoint, and those two things just kind of, it can make the pacing, like it can make it seem like really long, and like a lot of this two-parter, nothing happened. Like a lot of it was just like talking about what's going to happen.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff with Data and Picard just walking around Romulus was probably the low point. I mean, the high point was seeing them in costume. Then once they were just down there eating soup and then just walking around, it was kind of just like, all right, we're just waiting to get to Spock here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and for having fucking Spock in the episode, it's like, man, do I wish they got a little bit more deeper into that, And it's like he's there a good amount in part 2, and there's some great moments, but it's like there's still just a lot of like, okay. It's like, let's, do you agree? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, kind of, but I don't know. I like the stuff in the Mos Eisley Cantina and all that, and just Riker, coming in there with your favorite prosthetic nose lady.
Oh,
and all that. Yeah, looking at it, makes you a little uncomfortable.
And yeah, see, to me, that's polar opposite. Second scene in that location, I loved. One of my favorite scenes. That first scene when Riker first went there, I was like, what the fuck is this? I was like not into it at all. And the woman, I did not care for her performance in that scene. And then in the second scene with Worf, she's great. And it's just like, again, that's one of those things where it's like, why is that? Was it the direction? Was it the writing? I don't know at the end of the day, but that's just how it hit me. And it was like this whole two-parter just felt like very like kind of like a lot's going on, and some of it's really awesome, and then some of it's not at all. It was like kind of very weird.
I gotta say, all the because of in the credits that Denise Crosby is in this and other stuff, and the whole Stonejaw Romulan guy, like all the time they're figuring out like, oh, who stole this ship? Who stole all this? Why is this ship missing? And all that. And that hilarious guy who's running the warehouse, the space warehouse and all that. It's like not a lot of tension was there because it's a Romulan ploy. You know what I mean? We're just waiting them to figure it out. You don't have Sela in this, and it's not a Romulan ploy. It's not going to be a Vulcan ploy. It's not going to be a Cardassian ploy. Although they mentioned the Cardassians, which is interesting. I guess there was no tension there because of spoiled in the credits. I guess that because maybe the Stonejaw guy was actually going to do the reunification, but Sela's in it, so it's like okay. And this guy looks like a slimy heel anyway. You kind of figured. It was just like, okay, when's the other shoe going to drop? Oh, there it is.
Oh, yeah, 100% agree. And again, that's why for me, we both liked this, but it's like both of us are pretty honest that it's like, why did we like this? Because of the fan service. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Spock and fan service.
Yeah,
It's, once again, it's on the low S for me because I don't think any piece of anything is going to top Redemption 2 for me. Just
maybe,
spoiler. I mean,
this is going to be one of those where you gave it an S, I ended up giving it an A, but because of what we're saying here, everyone's going to be pissed off. We liked the episode, but it's like, I wouldn't put either of these episodes anywhere near Redemption 2. Like, it doesn't even sniff it. And it's crazy because it has Spock. So I think it's just proof that it's like there are limits to fan service. Like the fan service made this, especially part 2, an episode I will always remember. And again, for me, a lot of times it's about moments. And there's moments in this I'll always remember and cherish. But the episode as a whole, in the 2-part episode, I could honestly kind of take it or leave it. And it came off a little bit like a commercial for Star Trek 6, which is fine. I hope Star Trek 6 is really good. We're going to watch it soon. But yeah, I already know that this is going to be a fan favorite. Everyone's going to love it because they're going to be like, oh, it was awesome 30 years ago seeing Spock. And of course it was. Of course it was. But, that I'm not just going to turn my brain off and ignore all of the thoughts I have about the episode.
Yeah, if anything, I would just, if I can manipulate time-space, I would either push Star Trek 6 back and push this entire episode arc back a little bit, maybe mix in a little bit more stuff, build up to this a little bit longer, because it felt like, oh shit, we've been building up this whole Romulan Sela plot. Oh, it's culminating right now. I mean, it's not over. Sela's still alive, but it felt like, oh shit, it's happening now. We're, 7 episodes in?
Yeah, I'll disagree a little bit there. I enjoyed it in the sense that I'm glad it was Sela and not just the stone-jawed Romulan. Like, I'm glad it got to be Sela, it got to be a recurring villain. We haven't had that much in TNG where, almost like think of something like, this is a weird comparison, but like the Batman TV series from, the Cesar Romero Joker or whatever, like, showing up in an episode and it's like, oh, it's a Joker episode. It's like the same thing here where it's like, oh, it's a Sela, she's in here. She gets knocked out, she'll be back, and it doesn't have to mean like the end of the arc as to where like Redemption 2, they really did like close out that whole arc with the sisters and everything for now. But with her, it's like she could still pop up next episode or in 10 episodes and I wouldn't be surprised. So I don't think there was too much like damage done or anything but with that.
Okay, it just felt like a culmination by bringing in Spock for this.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? It felt like this is
a big deal.
This is it. So it seems like they're going to have to take a long time to build up another Romulan plot for whenever that happens again. So I don't know if I'd prefer that or I'd prefer just like wait, because they've been making us wait for this. They've been like teasing Romulans so much, so I don't know if it's better if we make it wait and we culminate at the very end and bring in Spock. Like, oh shit, this whole arc ends with Spock somehow. Here's Star Trek 6. But I mean, I don't know. It's just fan casting, just what ifing.
Yeah, well, we're going to find out soon. We have one more episode and then Star Trek 6. So We're going to hop into the Patriot Takes, but we're actually not recording it on the same day for scheduling reasons, so I'll throw it over to future Alex and Josh to hear about how much I'm sure you guys all really loved it. Wow, Alex, well, past me before just threw it over to us and predicted that they would love this one. They did. 62% S tier, 32% A tier. So 94% was either an S or an A, 6% B, 0% down the rest of the board. No one gave this lower than a B, at least that registered as a percentage. So we're going to jump into these patron takes. There's a lot of them, so I'm sorry if we didn't get to yours. A lot of them are long, so if yours don't get read, keep that in mind. Oh, and I should specify, that was for episode 7. We did it as 1 grade, but this is for episode 7, and then we're going to read some of these takes, and then we'll go to 8 and reveal that score as well, because we didn't know up front we were going to do this, obviously, as 1. So, Timothy says, if I remember correctly, you both expressed concern in the discussion for Sarek, the episode Sarek, that he would be brought back just to be killed off, which unfortunately ended up being the case. Pardek is another TOS connection, as he had previously played Commodore Mendez in the Menagerie. You just watched that.
I knew he looked familiar. I'm looking at him like he looks slightly familiar. I just rewatched the Menagerie. How about that? Son of a bitch.
And he also voiced one of the Telosians. I have a question. Outside of Star Trek VI, did either of you ever expect to see Leonard Nimoy play Spock again?
I remember seeing Star Trek 2009 in theaters. I'm like, oh, there's an older Spock.
Oh, yeah, because Leonard Nimoy's in, 2009. Also, we know Generations exists, so I assume he's in there. I never expected him to be in TV again. I will say that. When he showed up here, I said in the discussion, like, oh, credit to him for doing TV, because I thought, that whole cast, they went to movies, they'll just do movies. Bones was, I don't want to say a lower level character. He was in the big 3, but he's not Kirk or Spock. So him showing up in the pilot was like understandable, for him. But I was surprised in terms of TV, and I don't expect to see anyone in TOS again in TNG. That's my prediction.
That's my prediction and hoping that I'll be wrong, and that James Doohan was going to show up somehow.
Ooh,
James Doohan and Geordi. That's my next dream. Or James Doohan, Geordi, and Chief.
They brought him back and killed him off. I mean, it is what it is. At least they did it with a Spock episode, though. If it had just been him, like for no reason, I'd have been like, what the hell? But at least it builds Spock.
Yeah, I predicted that, and I'm glad they had that nice moment at the end of number 2, because that made it well for me. And it's such a smart way to have them have that father-son moment without actually having to have it. All right, Alan F. says, this has potential to be the biggest pop in history.
I compare this one, the zoom and enhance on Spock, in the hook to Tasha in yesterday's Enterprise. It's like so obviously so much more cinematically revealed and well done.
Yeah.
As to where here it was like, oh, that's him on the screen, I guess.
Yeah, it was very poorly done, in my opinion. And while it's fresh in my brain, it's like, I don't know what it is with TV, but I love trash TV like Steve Wilkos. And I was watching one episode on YouTube, but it includes all the coming up next, or after this commercial. And they brought out Maury and special guest Maury Povich in every single commercial break. I'm bringing out Maury Povich, and like, after the 4th or 5th time, it's like, I don't even care anymore. It's like, just,
and then he actually comes out. And
he actually comes out. It's like, oh yeah, the guy they advertised 4 or 5 times. It's like,
but imagine the pop if they hadn't.
Exactly.
That's TV, man.
It's like content versus art, I guess.
Art, Steve Wilkos show. That's the first time that's ever been spoken.
Oh God, yeah, just a shame. You know what I mean? Just
money.
Yeah, money.
All right, and then on episode 8, 51% S, 34% A, 11% B, and 3% C, even 1% D. So this had overall lesser. Let me just say, I'm the complete opposite. One of the reasons I wanted to jump right in to episode 8 when we finished 7 is because that wouldn't have been a positive review. But most of my bitching would have been about, oh, this is just a setup episode for the next one. So I didn't feel it was fair to like have a whole discussion just being like, this is a setup, nothing happens. But nothing happens in part 1. Like Spock shows up and that's it. Like the whole story is all just set up for part 2, which I think part 2 benefits by.
I mean, there's a horrible Klingon. Remember that guy?
Yeah, that's the guy from Office Space. The stapler guy. Isn't that crazy?
Oh,
and
really?
Barry.
Oh, it's him?
Yeah.
Oh, he's horribly miscast.
So much better in obviously Office Space, but like Barry we watched and like he's one of my favorite characters in that show, and amazing. So when I found out that was him, I'm like, and like we both hated him, and I'm not going to change it because I found out who it was. Like, no, that was bad.
Yeah, no. If anything, I think less of his performance and everything else now. but there was a great scene with Picard trying to go to sleep and Data, just not staring at him. Like that whole scene was great. Just a nice little.
Oh, that was in part 1.
I think that was in part 1.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I don't think part 1 was a bad episode or anything. It was just like.
See episode
It's not
2
a complete story.
Yeah, see episode 2 next week.
And that's why I'm glad that it wasn't a season finale scenario. It was right in the season, back to back, so we could watch it like this. Had this been a season finale, it would have been one of my least favorites. So it was saved by that. But I'm just saying that because it seems like people are going to be saying here that this one is a letdown from part 1. And overall, I don't think it was a letdown. I think the whole 2-parter was not as great as it could have been, and was saved, like I'd said in our discussion, by really good moments and fan service, essentially.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, here's one that agrees with you. Wild Hunt 1973, a solid A, though I am rather disappointed that there was zero reaction from Data seeing Sela for the first time. I know he's an android, but not even a confused look? Come on. Though I guess someone told him off screen. By the way, somehow Tasha has a daughter who looks just like her. Good episode. Could have been better. Wrapped up very quickly and a little too neatly. But yeah, you brought that up.
Yeah, I brought it up. Like, this is too fast. Way too fast. Just push the movie back or bring the show forward.
But also about the Data aspect as well, not reacting to her at all.
We know how time passes in the Enterprise. You blink and it's been 2 weeks, so someone had to bring it up. Oh, hey, Data, did you know Tasha has a daughter? I mean, it had to come up at some point. Just whatever.
Also, with how rushed it was like, shouldn't Data react all confused and have some type of confusion about this? No time.
Yeah.
Too much plot.
No, he's an android. He doesn't,
Man, blast you on set. You're wasting your time.
You're wasting your time.
I'll read this one from Greg, but a lot of people are saying the same thing. Greg says, Sela is the weak link here. Mostly writer's fault, but not sure Crosby's heart is in this. Still, I'm going S. Well, that's generous of you. But I disagree. I liked Sela in this. I mean, we already talked about it a little bit. I think I liked it more than you in the sense of it's the classic TV returning villain that's just like, what's their plot this time? Kind of like a Batman or Superman villain. That's how I took it. But yeah, it really seems like the community, she is not a fan favorite for them.
That's strange. I enjoy Sela. I think Denise Crosby eats it up. I think she's great. All right, this one's from Alan Thompson. You would think a place like Romulus would have automated scanners looking for human and positronic life forms wandering around wearing awful wigs. It is a thing they're just able to, you know what I mean? This Romulans have been built up as this super scheming whatever, and they're just able to sneak in like that. And with these, whatever. I don't know. It's a good point.
Yeah, and here's a defector for sure. Keel says D, borderline E. It just wastes so much potential. And then he lists a number of points here. It'll be on screen. And then he says, if this episode was erased from canon, not knowing which each of these elements was up to would sit better in my head. I wouldn't go that far, obviously. I loved all the moments,
Oh, I loved all the moments, yeah. I don't think I'm going to take it away from an S for me, for Spock. I mean, just because, I don't know, those emotional moments hit super hard, and Spock and Data, Spock and Picard, it was just, fan service.
Galore,
joy, just amazing.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because I feel like it's funny. It's a 2-parter, yet I have less to say about this than the majority of episodes. It was just a 2-parter that was that was a lot of cool fan service. I'm excited for Star Trek 6. What about the episode, though? It's just kind of oh, well, some stuff happened.
Yeah.
What do you think about just the whole story in general about Spock making his whole thing to go try to basically recruit and re-educate these Romulans that are growing up and want to break away and go back into the Vulcan nature? What did you think about that?
I think it totally makes sense for his character and what his character would be doing at this time, because post time on the Enterprise, post Starfleet, it's well, what do you do? He's not a guy that's just going to sit there. He's a go-getter. He believes in doing what's right and pushing things forward. I think it's always been his thing, and I totally bought into it. It's of course Spock would do that, and having arguments with his dad about it. I'm curious what Sarek's arguments were for all that. Was he oh, I was a Romulan once, let them die. They're far too gone. And I think Spock's always the one's oh, we have to try, And even to the point of believing that his own friend ratted him out. It's like, yeah, it's logical that you're the one that ratted me out. Well, oh well.
Yeah, I 100% agree, and I think Sarek was probably just like, boomer mentality. Don't worry about those Romulans, man. Wasted me. So.
Season 5 we persevere. Josh and Alex shot the skies, warping forward as chaos flies. Riker's grin, the battle cry. Crusher's brilliance lights the sky. Data's mind a beacon bright. TNG was a metal spike. Shields up high, we're breaking through. Phases toss, our aim is true. Moonlight twist, the fire ignites. Boldly onward into the night. Warp factor, chaos engine scream. A voyage built on starlit dreams. Through fire and flame, the cosmos bends. The Enterprise flies, the journey ascends. Warp factor, chaos hearts collide. With every laugh, the stars align. Boldly they go, no end in sight. Season 5 takes flight. Anthe's fault, a scorching critique. Virtue speeches reach their peak. Holodeck worlds and turmoil turn. Lessons taught and bridges burned. Finder's gift, a master's hand. Picard's command, the voice that stands. Through the madness, what truth remains. TNG courses through our veins. Warping fast, the time is near. Stories clash as chaos steers. Engines roar, the stars ignite. Boundless journeys, endless fight. Warp factor, chaos engine scream. A voyage built on starlit dreams. Through fire and flame, the cosmos bends. The Enterprise flies, the journey ascends. Warp factor, chaos hearts collide. With every laugh, the stars align. Boldly they go, no end in sight. Season 5 takes flight. A voyage built on starlit dreams.